Hey guys, Dr. Wabi here. I hope everyone is doing well in our second week of distance learning. I hope all of your classes are going well and everything's going smoothly at home. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about how we're going to get Autodesk Inventor on your computers at home. Obviously, Inventor is pretty useful for 3D modeling. We've used it a bit in class, both for designing things for 3D printing as well as just for general 3D modeling purposes. As students, you guys can get it for free on your computers, which is great. So we're going to talk about that today. And that's really just going to be our assignment for today, is trying to get it installed on your computer and then letting us know if it works or if it doesn't work and what your issues are. So to get started with that, you're just going to go to this site, autodesk.com/education/free software/featured, and there'll be a link to this in the assignment that you get. This will bring you to this page, and you're going to select Inventor. Now, this is the page for Inventor. To download it, you're going to need to create an account. If you've already installed an Inventor on a computer, you may have an account. You'll sign in there. We'll talk about that in a minute, but most likely you need to create an account. So you're going to go here, create account, and then we are in the United States. You can either type it in, make sure you do not choose United Arab Emirates. That is a whole different country. We're the United States. Or you can just click and drag all the way down to the U's. We are QSTU. And there is United States. Educational role, you guys are students. Institution type, we are at a high school. And then you'll put in your birthday here. I already have an account, so I'm not going to make a new one. But it'll basically then ask you to put in your name and your email. Use your Gwinnett emails for these. And then it'll have you sign in. So I'm going to sign in with my Gwinnett email. And then I'm going to hit next, and it's going to ask me for my password. And so now I'm back at the same page. Now, if it doesn't bring you to this same page, you can again just use that same link that we had before, which will take you to again this home page, and go back to Inventor. You should eventually be able to get to this page. If you're still having issues, make sure you're signed in. You can click on this little icon up here. If you're not signed in, just there should be a link here to sign in or sign out, sign back in again. That'll bring you here. Now it's going to ask you to choose what version of Inventor you want. So we are going to want Inventor 2020. That's the one we have at school. Our operating system is going to be Windows 64-bit. Now, if you don't have a Windows computer, let me know. That may pose a problem. Any Macs can still run these, but can be an issue. Language is going to be English, and then it's going to go ahead and pull up your info. It's going to give you a few things, a serial number and a product key. You're going to need to hold on to those for later. So I'm going to bring up Notepad, and I'm just going to write those down so that I have them for later. And so I'm just going to copy these. And you can still access these in your account, but it makes it a little easier if you have them. So just do something like that, pull up Notepad, paste them in there, and it'll be good to go. Now you'll see the file size is fairly large, so make sure you have enough space, and you'll be able to install this on up to 2 computers. So if you have a personal computer, or if you have a family computer, or if you have both, you can install them on both of those. So you can go ahead and do all of those. It's going to send an email with all that info to you, to your Gwinnett email that you're going to use to register for this. So your serial number and things will be in there as well. Then you go ahead and make sure it says you're receiving an educational license. And then these other pieces are just there to tell you that, yeah, it's educational license. It's restricted a little bit, but you guys will have access to it. So then you go ahead and click on Install Now. You're going to go ahead and read through the end user license agreement, the EULA, which is acknowledging essentially that you're not going to do anything shady with this software, and that they have the right to do all sorts of things. So go ahead and read through all of that, hit accept, and then install. It's going to download a short, small installer file. So once that is done, you can just run that file. And that is then going to actually guide the whole download and installation process. So my screen just went blank there because it's asking for permission. If you don't have administrator privileges to the computer, you may need to get your parents to sign in and get that to install. Once you've got it to this point, you can click on Install. And it's basically going to sit there, think for a minute, and figure out what you need. You're going to get the Inventor Pro version, and then you're just going to hit Next, and it's going to figure out where it wants to install to. That's fine. Disk space requirements total about 4.5 gigabytes. I have 50 free, so I should be okay. You don't need to change anything at this point. You just leave it the way it is and hit Install. And then it's going to go ahead and start thinking, basically. And it's going to take a little while because it is a relatively large file. So we will skip ahead a little bit and see the end of this process. But basically, it's going to take a minute and download everything. You can see it's downloading a little bit more than it started with. So I will jump back in when I'm done with this. All right, guys, here we are a little bit further along in the installation process, doing a little bit of time travel here. You can see I got about 155 megabytes out of my 7.1 gigabytes downloaded, so totally doing great here. One thing that may come up is it may say file in use. There's things that it needs to close. I have a million Firefox tabs open, and it's going to want to update your browsers with a little bit of stuff as it goes. So you can just tell it to automatically close applications and attempt to restart them after setup is complete, and hit OK. And it's going to go ahead and kill off all of your offending tabs and things. And then it's going to go ahead and attempt to continue on with that process. So if you run into that as you go, that's just something to be aware of. So keep an eye on that, and I will check in with you as I finish my installation process. This is pretty much the screen you get at the end here, and it says just to review everything. And really all it's saying is, hey, we installed your program, Inventor's installed. Just go ahead and click finish. And at that point, you can just hit Windows key and type Inventor, and you should be able to just choose it from here. Boom, done. And it should go ahead and launch as normal. So again, the thing to do for today is try to get through that process. For me, the entire installation process took about 10 minutes, probably about closer to 15 or 20 if you're making your account, but it shouldn't be that long. So try and get through that process, and then just make sure you can actually open it up and get it running. And then let us know in the attached Google form whether it actually worked or whether you ran into issues. So that's it for today, and I hope that you guys are having a great second week of distance learning. So I will hopefully be back in touch with you guys soon. So have a good one.